And welcome back to the Riot Games Arena for Game 3 of Shopify Rebellion versus 100 Thieves. The Rebels, they finally did it, Jatt. They were able to close out that game too. They've been close in all of their series so far, and they're making this one close as well.
They really are. They're currently sitting at a 0-2 max score.
Yep.
But they've played the most games. So they have now played 9 out of 9 games in their 3 series.
And that guy on your screen right there, Contractz, shout out to him. I caught him after that last game, and I said, are you aware that you tied Xmithy? And he said, oh yeah, it's been on my mind that I just tied Xmithy for all-time Barrett steals. And he said, you know what, maybe this next game, we'll let them start Barrett. We'll just let them do it, just so I can take it.
Yeah.
He's in good spirits right now.
I mean, it's hard not to be when it felt like they were about to get 2-0'd, but they found beautiful flanks and surprise engages to find their way into this Game 3, a rare Shopify comeback win. So that's a lot of momentum coming into this. And I just love Game 3 Fearless because I don't personally feel like Fearless really does that much in Game 2. You're just kind of going down one little bit of the meta, but now we're going to see hopefully some much more unique stuff.
And also we see 100 Thieves now on the blue side with Yorick ban as the first. So maybe giving some respect to Fudge. They're not wanting to give a counter pick that Sniper is not prepared for. As, okay, set. Really? What do you think the odds are that this fan gets what they're asking for?
I mean, with Bwipo, anything's possible. I think with this team, no.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, I don't think Bwipo's playing unless I heard a different
Come back tomorrow.
roster swap.
Leave the side.
True. All right. Well, it's instead going to be Mbessa and Yorick banned away with Jace as well. So top lane pool getting pinched a little bit here. Let's see what 100 Thieves want to prioritize immediately. It's going to be Azir for Quid.
That is a very powerful champion to get in Game 3 of Fearless, I gotta say.
Yeah.
One of his bread and butter for sure. He's played it twice so far this split, won both of those games with KDA of 7. So happy starts for him. And Fudge, I know he's hovering the Gnar, but it's not the worst thing with how relatively narrow Sniper's champion pool is. Just get rid of the things that he's going to be comfortable with because he needs to play, to me, the same type of archetype, like do a lot of damage, go in champion. He's got Camille, he's got Riven, he's got Aatrox, but none of those are amazing against Gnar.
Yeah, it is that Gnar blind picked here in that Game 3, one of the classics, with Lucian paired alongside it. Interesting to see that we're going for the AD carry. We've actually allowed AD carry to kind of drop down by the wayside for the first 2 drafts, but this time around, Bvoy wants it early.
Well, he wants it early, especially because it's been getting banned out in 4-5.
True.
So with all the other AD carries out already, Ezreal, Jhin, Xayah, Smolder, Varus, he just feels like it's going to be pretty difficult to match.
And it's going to be Miss Fortune then set up here for FBI. Pairing it with something like the Rell would be a classic pairing. And when we already have 4 engaged champs banned away because of Fearless, the Rell's kind of that last remaining premier pick.
This does raise the question, though.
The bread tastes better.
Do you do the Lucian
than
Milio? Do you do the Lucian Milio? Because it's not the engaged support that Seoul has been playing so much of, but it's extremely powerful early on in the lane phase when you go with the Electrocute Lucian.
1 million action per minute FBI. Can we test that? Do you think that we have the numbers on that? You got to be close, right?
We can test it.
We can test it?
It's tracked. It's not close to 1 million.
No? Sorry, FBI, man. There we go. Again, highlighting the dietary restrictions of foxes. Or maybe not restrictions. Options, as it were. But the classic Milio plus Lucian combo that we've seen over the last couple of weeks locked in here means that they have the ability to disengage. They don't have that, immediate engage option. Gnar can be, but I typically like to see it more as kind of follow-up engage. So we'll see if maybe Contractz is going to be on that engaged champion instead. Maokai's still on the table, but maybe 100 Thieves want to ban that one away here.
Yeah, Sejuani down. Maokai's a good tank champion, and Contractz would be the one that would need a little bit more beef since they've gone with a fairly squishy bot lane.
Yeah.
Really going to be wanting to track whether Bvoy can punish early on in that laning phase, because that's why you're playing this Lucian Milio. You got to see it in the Team Liquid series. Almost won that game.
Poppy as the final ban here, so they are leaving up some options for Contractz to go for a tankier engage champion. And notably also the Jax plus the Camille bans plus the Jace ban against Sniper. Not a ribbon ban. I'm just saying. I don't know how viable it is into the Gnar specifically, but could come out. It would be very short range into something like the Xerath, though.
Do it.
We've seen this counter pick already in LTA North, and there it is. Palafox locking it in.
I love it. This is a very old school counter pick into the Azir. As you said, we have seen it a little bit so far this year. It's tricky to play in the overall scope of the game, though, because you need to have the rest of your team composition work around the artillery style of the Xerath. So a lot of engage coming in for 100 Thieves to try and not let them just set up shop. But currently, with the Lucian Milio taking control of mid lane, and then maybe having longer range to finish, it would be huge.
A classic counter pick, Jatt. The Irelia locked in for Sniper into the Gnar. We've seen this in years past. It's been a while since I've seen it in pro play.
This is going to be super interesting because the Irelia absolutely can slam the Gnar, but you have to play on such razor-thin margins.
Sure.
And you're really all in if you go into those situations. So the jungle pathing early on in the game is going to be so important. And there is the Maokai for a little bit of tankiness in the jungle.
So Maokai as that primary engage tool now for Contractz, and the Nocturne turning the lights out with the Irelia means that, yes, you're right that the 1v1 matchup razor thin edge, but if Nocturne can hit level 6, Irelia can set up those Nocturne ganks, or Nocturne can set them up for the Irelia to land the flawless duet. We'll look that one up.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Irelia Q, W, E, and R.
There we go.
Yeah, that's always a good fallback for me. But they have dive buddies with Nocturne. This is always what I say when I have a Nocturne on a team. You need somebody else with damage to go in with you, because a Nocturne solo diving a Xerath or a Lucian oftentimes isn't enough. If you bring a buddy, oftentimes you can get it done.
Yeah, especially not with the Milio there, given the shields, given the heals. So it's going to be really hard for Nocturne alone to get that done. Luckily, there are buddies to go in. Azir can go for those big dives. Irelia definitely can as well. So flawless duet. There we go. We got it. As the fist bumps come in from the coaches up on stage, one more game ahead of us today. Shopify Rebellion versus 100 Thieves. Non-subscribers, we'll see you in 30 seconds. Everybody else, another reminder that Shopify Rebellion are hoping to keep their upper bracket playoff dreams alive here, whereas 100 Thieves are hoping to lock that in with a win. Either way, one more game of League of Legends is all that's in front of us right now.
Last game of the day, and it should be a banger because there is a lot to pay attention to very early on in this game. One thing, both these junglers have heavily scouted each other early on in the game. This game with Nocturne Maokai, I kind of feel like both of them want to mind their own business, but the more important thing is the lane mismatches. So Sniper is really going to want to punish the Gnar later on. If he can get on top of Mini Gnar, that's where he really shines. But this Lucian Milio with Electrocute in the bottom lane, the reason that this has been seen so much play is when the Milio passive touches the Lucian, it's an E auto, and that procs the Electrocute.
Yeah. Real quick trading patterns. Very tough to deal with if you're not ready for it. So we'll keep our eyes on that, as already some early poke there on to Palafox. And I got to tell you right now, Jatt, Shopify Rebellion, because they won a game, we actually got Ludwig joining us for this one on co-stream. So shout out Ludwig. Your team, they could do it. They could win right here.
Ludwig, just watch Bvoy. He's going to dash, hit, get Electrocute, back away. Going to do that 5 times. And then hopefully FBI doesn't have enough health to play the lane. That's the idea of how this works. And we were having a discussion about this on the lounge, about how the Electrocute's like a win more rune against press the attack, because it's just going to be definitely weaker later on in the game, but we keep seeing it show up here because if you play it well, you can really just end the game in the laning phase.
But literally that sweeper is actually very important right there, because now they can't control that rush, which is a big part of that ability to land that level 1 combo. So now that they don't have that, I think Eyla and FBI, they understood. They placed the ward, Eyla backed, and then picked up the sweeper, and now they got it. Boom, big Electrocute chunk.
Yeah, that's just at level 1, right? You can see that's already about 150 health poke versus 40 health poke. Wait for the execute to come up, do it again. That's going to be the cycle. Now on the top side, this is Sniper. He wants to keep his passive charges as full as possible, and when Fudge is in mini, it means Fudge can't necessarily fight this. When it's fallen off, though, he hasn't gotten the last hits with Qs lately. He has to reset it again. So both of these matchups can be heavily dictated by jungle ganks, which is what makes this early game quite interesting to me.
But when I think of champions like Nocturne, I don't think of early jungle ganks. I definitely think around the level 6, whereas Contractz might be able to make things happen earlier.
Maokai, on the other hand, you do think of that. So that's why I think Contractz is pathing up towards the top side. He has a pushing bot lane. He says, you're going to fend for yourself, so we don't think Nocturne's going to gank you. Let's play around and protect this Gnar.
And you know it's a very solo queue thing to do, as Fudge was saying, playing against 100 Thieves kind of feels like that. Ganking early. I see junglers do this quite a lot. If you can just get one lane ahead, definitely helps you out. But this time it would be Shopify Rebellion, actually, being the ones to make that early action happen. Contractz has a potential window up here, but we actually see River pathing the same direction to hover, and it could be a scrap for that top Scuttle Crab. Sniper actually get a big chunk here on the Fudge as well.
You can see Sniper really, you need to play on this advantage, otherwise you're just going to get poked out from range by the mini Gnar. And he's got to be a little bit careful. Like, this is a wave that he needs to crash, but he knows the Contractz could be around. That's why he has the ward in the river. So Contractz is hoping that he could get some type of sneak engage, but a little bit too dangerous. I think he's just guarding against a dive right now.
Yeah, Follow Sweat did miss right there on the Fudge, and Contractz actually channeling the back right here. So he's not going to commit to the play immediately. He's losing the top Scuttle Crab. This is good for River. The fact that Contractz isn't able to actually make anything happen, because now Contractz is actually falling behind in the jungle clear. Oh, Eyla? Nice, fine.
I will say, with the brush control in the bottom lane, that we haven't been completely focused on it, but with the fact that Eyla and FBI have been able to hide in those side bushes, this early lane advantage is not what you need to have with the Lucian Milio early on. I mean, if we were looking at that Team Liquid Cloud9 game earlier, I know the matchups were a little bit different because Lucian Milio was up against Corky Nautilus, but at one stage it was 47-29.
Yeah.
This game is 30-30. Like, the MF Rell are laughing right now with how effective their early laning phase has been.
Bvoy Seos have not been able to make that really like big power spike of the Lucian Milio actually come into fruition. Funny to think of level 1 as being like the massive power spike. We saw that one chunk, but FBI Eyla, good on them for keeping it stable. And I actually just heard from production earlier that Sniper on Irelia, first pilot of this champion in the North since 2023 spring. It was Revenge that pulled it out. So it's been a while since we've seen this champion played in this region.
Definitely has been a while. It can really punish the Gnar, though, and Fudge. I've seen Fudge play the Irelia side of this matchup on stage when he was a rookie against Elfari. Solo killed him multiple times, actually, in that specific game. Picked it again, lost to Gangplank. But it still is just something he has to be incredibly just wary of. Now that Sniper's level 6, like, he's giving up early prio this entire laning phase. When he can get a little bit of tankiness, he can start turning the matchup, so he's just got to be very conservative early on in this lane phase.
Yeah, Sniper goes for the back, picks up the Vampiric Scepter, heading back up to the top side with a 10 CS advantage, as Fudge will try and shove this next wave in. I think Sniper's going to get most of that wave, though, so it should be just fine. Dragon's on the map now, so that's where Magnet could pull action in. River going to look to hit level 6 before that happens, though, as currently Contractz not actually threatening that. Both junglers are still on the top side of the map. It really does feel like they both think that that is where this game could crack open early.
Yeah, if the Irelia were to pop off early, it would be very dangerous. Contractz just trying to escort that wave in.
Bvoy and Seos yet again getting that advantageous
Sniper
trade.
Might think about all inning here.
Yeah. Doesn't get the stun into the wall. Sniper has the ultimate available. Stunned up, knocked back. Sniper in trouble, but jumps away with the flash. Fudge following, taking the turret, but first blood to Contractz.
And that's just playing around his timings extremely well. Contractz and Fudge were completely on the same page about him needing to crash that wave. Sniper at level 6 is thinking he's on a power spike. He has an item up on him, so he really wants to get aggressive, and they turn the kill. It will be essentially a trade for the Drake, but I feel like Shopify is going to be okay with that, since making sure that Irelia can't just bully the Gnar forever is going to pay off more than just in the short term.
As we get another look at that, it felt like maybe the Nocturne being up there earlier was going to back up, but yeah, you just wanted to go farm. River was not interested in this.
I mean, it's quite greedy by Sniper to go for this all in with the wave crashing towards him, but it's also why you pick the pick.
River having to flash over the wall. Dragon was secured, but it looks like Shopify Rebellion were making them sweat for it, as River will now just go back to clearing in the jungle. Contractz does not actually want to follow, despite River being low.
Yeah, we're in the replay, so I don't know how River got so low. Still gets the Drake, though, keeps his CS advantage, go back to farming.
Yeah.
Now he's level 6, so the Lucian Milio will have to play a little bit less aggressively and has not been able to open up a lead in that bot lane. I mean, they're up against a Cull, and they were only up 7 CS.
But because of, 25 seconds here for the Grubs to spawn, this is one of the reasons that I looked at these powerful level 6 junglers being more prevalent in the meta, or at least expecting to see junglers be more willing to play them. We did see Nocturne and Maokai before this change, but now we're going to see, Grub fights potentially with these very impactful ultimates as well. And we'll see who's favored in that. Right now, it's the bot lane from 100 Thieves heading up to that top side, whereas the bot lane from Shopify Rebellion are actually trying to get priority in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I don't feel like Shopify can afford to fall behind in this game based on their team composition. They have so much counter engage, but very low actual engage, so they need to be first to objectives and get 100 Thieves to come into them. So this is technically the right setup for them if they can withstand and engage from...
And look at Bvoy. Ooh, was hiding in that brush. They had the control ward down, knew that Bvoy was not on vision, so Quid has to jump away. That is Grub secured for Shopify Rebellion.
Nicely done. First to the objective, poke them away. They're going to teleport down to that bot wave, catch it, hopefully catch the top wave as well. They are at a slight risk of getting engaged on here since they teleported away.
Yeah, against Seoul, though, with that Breath of Life, goes a campfire. So hard to actually get the damage through onto Bvoy. So even though River could use Paranoia, I just don't think it's worth it. Instead, back off. Playing into the Milio is not what a Nocturne typically wants to do. Instead, I'm looking at Palafox as kind of that target that River could be looking at. Maybe Fudge as well on the sideline.
Yeah, Palafox struggled a little bit early on in the lane phase here. You can see 16 CS down to Quid's Azir. Want to get this electrocute poke off. Don't want to dash forward, though, without knowing where Nocturne is. So
yeah.
Do it well.
Oh, Fudge taking another big chunk there from Sniper, getting close to that Blade of the Ruined King. Oh, trades it right on back, though.
Fudge playing this quite well. Hasn't died, hasn't lost plates, hasn't lost to Irelia roams, so it's kind of all he needs to do. Build a few more defensive items until they can force Irelia into team fights, with hopefully not Irelia being too fed.
The plated steel caps early definitely helping you stay alive, and it's such a fun matchup to watch. Typically, I tell observers, please don't look top lane ever. I don't want to watch like a Renekton fighting a Scion, but I do want to watch this right now as the engage comes through. Paranoia on the Bvoy, trying to kill FBI through it. Not enough. 100 Thieves get on the board, chasing down Seos. Has the flash available, pulled back, but not out. Flashes to safety. He's out of there. 1 kill to the Thieves.
Yeah, interesting. Bvoy saves his flash there, was probably dead anyway. It's going to make the return gank a little bit harder, but that's what you want to do against Lucian Milio when you have the Nocturne ult up. Get him to dash in, immediately ult on him, and just kind of end his life at that moment.
Yeah.
I'd say Eyla and River on the same page to pick up that nice kill.
But right as I was saying it, I mean, that's not where I expect River to go. I expect River to go onto the Xerath, onto the Gnar, not onto the Lucian with Sums, with the Milio with ultimate and Sums as well. But the fact that it was Eyla that started it off, I think, is what allowed them to go for that, because it's the Crash Down, it's Magnet Storm. That's the CC they needed with Bolt Time over the top.
At the same time, though, unless they're willing to turret dive, that's the only place he can go, because it's the only lane that's trying to play with any sort of pressure. I mean, Quid is keeping Palafox under his turret, extending that CS lead as much as he can. The Gnar, when he's in mini, has to be safe, has to sit behind his turret. So really nice job of 100 Thieves to find gold where it's available.
Always scary to dive a Gnar as well if he gets that rage bar up. Suddenly, a lot more health and CC under the turret. As Palafox will TP back into the mid lane, catch this one. Expect Quid to go for a reset as well. Dragon's up in 45 seconds. And as of right now, it's about even vision control over that bottom river there. But right now, Shopify Rebellion have Bvoy already on the bot wave, and Seos running down there. So I expect them to start trying to fight for that vision, because Ayla's only resetting now can be a little later to that Dragon setup.
Yeah, looking at River's ultimate as well. 20 seconds until that's going to be up again. Shopify actually temporarily has pushed out the waves. Not at any big item disadvantages. They have the full tank Maokai, so not the Leandry's one. He's already gone Unending Despair. It's going to hurt his ability to keep up with the Nocturne, but it's good immediate power if they want to fight these objectives early.
And it should be up before the Dragon's going to be in a lot of threat. Contractz is actually not even looking at the Dragon.
Yeah, they're just going to try and end Sniper's game here, giving up another Dragon to try and keep the Irelia far behind. Ayla's here to shadow.
Palafox is there as well, right of the Arcane. Very powerful ultimate that Palafox can use to just get damage onto the turret. And now they're using the Maokai ultimate as well. Sniper in trouble, has the flash available, right to the arcane. Damage on top, chain CC, in goes Eyla to try and save the top laner's life, but Fudge has enough health. He will survive, but in comes Quid with a teleport flank. Flash out from Palafox. He gets to safety. Shopify Rebellion, successful dive.
Just with the way we had the split screen, Quid flying in was like a jump scare.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere, but Palafox was completely ready. A perfect flash to avoid it, and a well-executed gank by Shopify. They might try to kill Quid as well. No way.
There's no shot. Yeah, he has flash available. Too much wave clear. It's Dragon picked up by 100 Thieves. That's their second. But the fact, like you said, they're just trying to end Sniper's game. Really put this Irelia behind. Still hasn't finished Blade of the Ruined King. 0-2-0 right now, and this is putting Fudge in a much more comfortable position in the laning phase. Or just in the side lane.
Though, Shopify is still going to have to find a way to win since they have poor engage.
True.
They need to be the ones to set up first. So if they win, I feel like this is going to be a very long game because they actually do need to win through objectives. But in order to be strong enough to win through objectives, they had to abandon objectives to cut Sniper a little bit out of the game. I like that they were able to get 2 successful kills, but I feel like 100 Thieves is probably pretty comfortable with River having 2 Drakes already, knowing that, yes, Sniper's died twice, but his CS is still kind of okay, and he's not immediately losing to this Gnar yet, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see as Fudge goes Mega. This is the wallop crunch as well. Ultimate into the wall so that Sniper cannot continue the damage. And Fudge walks away, but yeah, even there, despite the fact that Sniper is down 0-2, it wasn't Fudge getting the kill, so he's not like super far accelerated to your point, so he still has to respect Sniper in that position.
Yeah, would have been much preferable if Fudge got those 2 kills, because that's the whole reason they're doing it. It's so that they can actually get side lane pressure with the Gnar into the Irelia, since they need to win by, it's going to sound stupid, by being ahead. Like, this is a team comp that needs to be ahead in order to actually start getting its path laid towards victory.
You telling me that 2 kills on a Maokai isn't ahead?
Not really.
Huh? Okay.
Xerath, who's, what is he even doing? Just hiding in the jungle.
Down, 34 CS a little bit.
He's really worried about being dove if he shows on this wave.
Which, to be fair, River is there, and Palafox does not have flash, so I think this is wise of Palafox. They want to dive him still. Hex flash from Eyla to get over the wall. River does have the paranoia. Eyla just has to set it up, but Palafox not interested in that. Paranoia is now used. Flash. No stun available, no flash. That is a dead Palafox. And it's Quid that's picking up the kill.
He knew it was dangerous, man.
Yeah. It's one of those moments where it's like, you know that you're going to die. You don't want to walk up and do it. But you also know that if you just do nothing, then you're going to miss the wave, you're going to have to go for a reset.
Which for many Seoul laners, they feel is worse than death.
Yeah, true.
But it's not. Death is the worst, because then he dies and loses the wave.
What's worse than death? Dying and losing the wave. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shopify Rebellion currently still on control of the Herald, though. River's nearby, but no paranoia available. Contractz does have the ultimate for the Maokai, so I think that they should be able to secure this, unless River can just walk up and smite it. Shopify Rebellion surely can push them off and make sure that River does not have an approach here. But I'm also looking at FBI and Eyla on the bottom side here. FBI's a little too far away, and that is Herald secured by Contractz. So Shopify Rebellion, they lose a member, but they do get the objective.
Nice, but they have so little pressure on the rest of the map. They've lost top turret. Sniper trying to get back into this game.
He's going to get it. Oh,
he's got to respect the Mega Gnar.
Okay, fair.
Doesn't know where the rest of the team is.
And it's Blade of the Ruined King completed, but also Trinity Force completed on Fudge now. So this is the moment where the Gnar damage, again, you do have to respect it as the Irelia, because if you don't have a wave to heal up off of, you can get poked down. And also Seoul's hovering that bottom side as well. Dragon's going to be up in a minute, so I think they're getting their preliminary wards down just to spot when 100 Thieves walks up to try and take their vision control as well.
Yeah, and a reminder of the stakes of this game. If 100 Thieves win, they're guaranteed top 2 in the group. If Shopify win, even though they're 0-2, strangely enough, there's still a path for them to be top 2. So Shopify win, and then tomorrow, a Dig loss. Shopify could earn second in the group, and if Dig upset, SR will earn third in the group. So they really just do want to win this game, and their whole group stage could be safe.
Yeah, all they have to do is win. And that's the expected outcome tomorrow, is FlyQuest taking that victory over at Dignitas. So Shopify Rebellion do have a very legitimate path, despite being 0-2 in series right now, to still get that top seed based on how the rest of the group looked out. But it's 100 Thieves in the lead. 1.9 thousand gold lead as Sniper took that bottom turret and can now reset pick up a tunneler, and the dragon's spawning soon.
And here's that setup. Can Shopify have the right setup so when 100 Thieves move in, they turn? Fudge is at a good state with his Trinity Force. Everyone is kind of on their one-item spike. Milio with the Moonstone. But it's still tricky. If you spend too much time on the Drake, all your side waves get pushed, and you're vulnerable to every flank that 100 Thieves could throw at them.
They're already losing minions topside because that's getting shoved in. Quid gets to the bot lane first, but now Fudge is actually catching him. Quid's got to be careful right now. Trinity Force on the Gnar. He can try and chase you down. Going Mega, right of the Arcana as well. Quid already used the flash. Sniper's nearby, but Quid is such low health. He's got to back and look to TP into the fight.
Nicely done. Now Bvoy looking for a little bit more poke onto River.
Big damage onto River. And I think that's just dragging over to Shopify Rebellion. They didn't need to get a kill. They just needed to get the damage down. 100 Thieves have to back off.
Yeah, really well played. Part of that was Fudge getting the fight started down on the bot side. And then even just with an Essence Reaver BF sword, a huge amount of poke from Bvoy's Lucian.
Insane. River does not have a lot of defensive items, just some health and magic resist. Quid did go for the teleport off.
It's taking so long.
Contractz is like, guys, I know I have 2 kills, but I built tank items, guys.
Tank item, man.
This is not Leandri's Maokai. Missed those days as, Bvoy takes one big chunk right there. Should be able to catch this wave just fine. Yeah, Quid opted to teleport topside and get that wave in as River just goes straight in on the Contractz.
What a jerk.
Gets the blue buff away. Culling used by Bvoy to try and clear out the mid wave, but doesn't get all the minions. Gets enough.
Oh, the pressure has been so sacrificed. I really do feel like if more people were just hitting that Drake, it took them like 20 seconds to kill it with Maokai. They could have been back on the map a little bit sooner. With it being said now, Contractz gets his boost stolen away. They lose 2/3 of this mid turret. Now 100 Thieves might be looking for a dive.
Ooh, they use Contract's ultimate right now. 100 Thieves set it up, but yeah, good defense from Shopify Rebellion. Seoul still has a breath of life. Contractz actually decides to go in. Ayla's taking some damage. Paranoia, sniper on the flank, but he gets marked. Turret goes down. Teleport in from Fudge. Shopify Rebellion have to back off.
100 Thieves are okay just taking the turret and backing away. It is a trade of Nocturne ult for Maokai and Lucian ultimate, and they're just going to kind of take their gold lead back to base to spend, I think.
I think so. Very patient game from both of these teams. They know there's a lot at stake for seeding here. A sniper actually throws out the ultimate. Fudge in trouble, does not have Mega Gnar, but he's got backup! Palafox helping him out. Feats of Warfare claimed.
Wow. Why was Palafox there, and how mad is Sniper that the Xerath flew in? He's just between Blue and Grob. The unseen Xerath gank that ends up happening there. Sniper thought he had an angle. Wow.
Okay, wait. I've been told that we have this little stat here. Otacon Heist. Contractz stole game 1 and lost.
Yeah.
River stole game 2 and lost. Ooh, so it's a curse.
Don't steal it.
You don't steal Otacon, everybody.
Just give it over.
Give it over.
Bad advice. Interesting.
Well, again, Contractz did say he might allow 100 Thieves to start Baron this game, just so he can take that number 1.
True.
He might have been joking. You know, in hindsight, I think he probably values the win, but it would still be cool if it happened.
Yeah, as a reminder, Contractz got his 18th Baron steal all-time, which ties him with the all-time North American record. One more makes him the sole owner of the record. Currently, he's tied with Xmithy.
Which, again, such a cool stat. I love that we have historic players like Contractz playing in the league right now. We showed earlier how many different organizations he's represented, how many different jerseys he's worn. One of the players in that conversation for, some of the top junglers to play in the region. So awesome that he's able to pick up some of those stats as well. But can he pick up a win here is the next question. They're down in gold here, and there's not much to fight over. So I think that we still will have a bit of room to breathe unless they go for an early Otacon, which, again, Shopify of all teams is willing to do.
Remember what Fudge said last game, guys? Don't start Otacon unless we have the wave pushed.
Yes.
So
well, they have it.
It's kind of pushed, but I feel like without the turret down, it's never going to be pushed enough. So they're not going to start Otacon, I think, unless they kill that turret and push the wave. We'll see, though.
Fudge denying the people a show here. As you know what, I'll allow it for right now. He had a very good early laning phase with the help of Contractz, but he's done great work with it as well. Still has not died. Sitting 1-0-2 on the Gnar. And he's going to actually maybe take this top turret because 100 Thieves are not nearby yet. Instead, Fudge is going to actually peel back. It's always scary to push up into a Nocturne, so Fudge does not want to do that. He'll just get the wave to crash, and the wave will not have enough damage. That turret is just barely hanging on.
Yeah, this is a bit of a lull in the game because the engaged tools by Shopify are pretty low, but the counter-engage tools are very high. So they're just almost hoping that River and Sniper go for a bad team fight in between the objectives. Otherwise, Shopify want to find a way to get to the objective and then kind of push them away. The ticking time bomb here for Shopify, though, is Quid. He is very farmed. He has good items, and he will be able to carry this if he goes untouched in team fights, which Shopify doesn't have great ways to get to him other than some long-range Xerath poke. So, Quid is the carry this game.
A reminder that this is the Xerath counter pick into Azir. This is now, I believe, twice that we've seen it just not have success. Yeah, the theory is that you outrange, that, in team fights, like, you're able to find that pick onto Sniper in that side lane. Azir can't do that, Xerath can, but just when it comes to pure stats right now, I would rather have the Azir on my team with that 2 items completed. And Quid just doing a fantastic job staying in this game right now. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. And guess where Quid is? Hanging right around there. They're utilizing the power of the Azir to try and take this objective.
Yeah, but I mean, Bvoy's not able to be first one to clear that mid wave. That's really going to hurt Shopify's ability to actually get set up on this Drake. And they don't have... I mean, Contractz is the one that needs to face check, but if they try and come in without vision, that's when the gank... That's when the team fight for 100 Thieves is actually going to be devastating.
Ooh, big damage on Contractz. Traded actually onto Eyla as well. So both of the primary engages getting chunked out. It's going to be scary for Eyla to go for the big engage now.
Yeah, 100 Thieves is in here, though, so they're just going to start this Drake and hope that Shopify moves in. And then I think River's going to look to turn. Where's Irelia? They need to find Sniper.
Sniper is on the flank. Eyla as well. They throw out the Maokai ultimate to root everybody up. It's only 2 members. Quid taking a big chunk right now, but the Paranoia plus the bullet time. Combo goes in. Quid goes deep into the backline. He's taken out. Bvoy still alive. Finally will fall, but Shopify or Rebellion have done so much damage as Fudge jumps onto FBI. It's all down to Sniper. Can he dance around? No. Contractz on a killing spree. Shopify Rebellion did it.
What a fight by Shopify. They counter the engage by 100 Thieves. That's exactly what they want to do, but the approach was very difficult. They have to funnel in through this small zone. Fudge does a great job on the left, marking Sniper, making sure he can't come into the fight. And then when Eyla engages with Quid, you can see Quid had already been poked to about half health, and the Milio ult can just be absolutely devastating. Sure, they kill Bvoy, but they had been poked out. The original engage was repelled well enough by the Milio, and then Fudge gets all the work done before Sniper can even approach the fight.
Yeah, and Sniper doesn't really have a great escape there, so he decides to go back and just gets blown up. And that shows it's hard to kill through the Milio Palafox. Like, all right,
okay,
all right, yeah, sure, we'll take it. Demonte as well. Yeah, let's go.
2 Drakes now for Shopify, moving their way towards Hex Soul. Man, can you imagine this Xerath and Lucian poke if they're able to get the Hex Tech Soul? But that's kind of the path that they have to take to win this game. I don't think they have the ability to just fly onto 100 Thieves and kill them. It has to be around objectives. It has to be around the things that force them to come together.
Yeah.
Because the split push from 100 Thieves is just better. So in between objectives, 100 Thieves is winning. The Azir is able to win 1v1, and even this 0-4-0 Irelia, now with the Hullbreaker, is still a threat. 1v1 in side lanes. It's just those team fights where Shopify have the team comp synergy.
You just can never let Sniper get too much work done in that side lane, and yes, Fudge can kind of delay, but then you need somebody like Palafox to link up to actually threaten Sniper at that point. So Shopify Rebellion's job is not easy from this point forward, but they are in the game right now. Slight gold lead. They've evened up the Dragons. Otacon has been started this time by 100 Thieves. Shopify Rebellion feel pretty good about that. I mean, throwing out a Maokai ultimate into the Otacon.
Fudge just lost Mega, so he will teleport in as Mini.
Sure. Mini Gnar not nearly as scary, but here's Contractz throwing out the ultimate now. Fudge on the flank. Lights go out. Paranoia used. Contractz has to get close enough to try and go for the Otacon steal, and he doesn't get it, but Fudge does! Fudge playing hero with 18 health, claims the objective for the team. Contractz trying to get out of there now. Big engage from Eyla. Sniper unleashed as he'll claim Contractz life. Shopify only 4 members left, but they will get out, and they got the steal.
They got the steal. Crazy, though, that even with the steal, the amount of remaining flowers, 100 Thieves still has more flowers. It'll be a little bit less adaptive force with the multiplier, and they won't get that explosion passive.
Fudge. Okay.
But it just goes to show me how much pressure 100 Thieves was playing with, collecting basically every flower that was available on the map. And also, a weird start to me for 100 Thieves. Just starting this, not really having a way of pulling off of it, kind of letting Shopify slowly walk in.
So I believe it gets down to 18 health. Both smites go down. It's got to be an auto from Fudge at that point.
Not been River's smite day.
No, Bramble Smash plus the smite. 18 with the auto. Oh!
So it was pretty much a full burst from Shopify. Contractz missed it by 18, but the Fudge auto was on the way.
Freak. Lord Xerath. No flash Gnar.
I love how relaxed they are.
Oh, that was good. FBI, like, okay. Yeah.
They have the best vibes. That could be an absolutely devastating movement,
no!
But maybe they
it's
know
another
the stat.
steal. Is
Maybe
this
they
the
know the
curse?
stat.
All right, if Shopify Rebellion lose this, it is official that you do not want to steal the Otacon. Oh, all right. Well, let's see what happens for the rest of this one. Shopify Rebellion, again, holding about the same lead, which is very little. It's not even 1,000 gold right now. But they're still in this game. And a big thing is Palafox has been getting some kills. He's still behind 70 CS. Quid is on a tear in the farm department. But Palafox is at least kind of keeping it close because of picking up gold from kills and assists.
And also just the actual function of team fights. Like, if Quid doesn't have a way to hit, it doesn't matter how fed he becomes, because Shopify is just absorbing all of these fights and playing backwards, so Quid has to fly all the way in. And until he does that, Palafox is still able to do more damage than him, depending on the setup of the fight.
Yeah, if he's got the range to play with, and especially if he's able to get that poke down first. That's one of the great things about Xerath. You have such long range. If they're on the objective, you just poke them down before they can engage on top of you. Shopify Rebellion, though, just making sure that they can keep vision around the Baron Pit. Maokai, fantastic at that. You don't even need to commit wards. You can just drop the saplings down. And also control priority over this mid-wave. They don't have a turret to fall back on, so they got to play very carefully, as 100 Thieves currently have more members here.
Okay, let's see if 100 Thieves can get enough side lane pressure that they make the approach difficult for Shopify. The last time this happened, 100 Thieves started the Drake, tried to engage, ended up losing the fight because Fudge was able to stop Sniper's approach. This time, Fudge is set up in mid lane, Sniper is on bot wave, so the Gnar cannot mark the Irelia.
Ayla's in some trouble here. Oh, yeah, it just gets chunked out again. I mean, it's late game now, but the electrocute damage still felt. As Eyla about half health, used to crash down, have to remount. And it looks like they're just going to threaten the Baron. I mean, you can give over the Dragon. You force Shopify Rebellion to walk back up and make sure that you're not on the purple worm.
Yeah,
and you have Sniper pushing bot.
This is mostly buying time for Sniper to push that wave. Now Shopify have to move in to make sure the Baron isn't taken, and it's just going to allow the mid-wave to bounce again.
And now Shopify Rebellion are realizing, so they want to actually go up here. Eyla is on the flank. He's spotted, though. He does not realize, as that was a far side alteration in the brush. Oh, tense moment right now. Sniper had teleport, but he's going to have time to walk back onto the rift and save the TP.
I mean, 100 Thieves' Baron damage is very high with the Azir, Irelia, Nocturne, so Shopify have to be very careful that they keep at least a little bit of control on that. But the long war of attrition looks like it's been won, and they're going to be able to take this third Drake.
Yep. Fudge starts it up. Palafox there as well, keeping Contractz in the mid lane in case the Baron was contested, but now Contractz can lock down, guarantee the take. There's the Bramble Smash plus Smite. No steal that time from anybody. Shopify Rebellion with 3 Hex Dragons. Soul Point picked up.
It's a banger. This game is an absolute banger. 100 Thieves are saying enough of this song and dance. They're starting this Baron. I think they're looking to peel for a fight,
Let's scrap. Why not? Okay, never mind. You know what? That's why not. You just get the teleport out of Fudge. That's good enough.
Well, if this game continues on its current trends, like 100 Thieves has not been able to land enough engages on Shopify, and Shopify's defensive shell in between objectives has been strong enough to get them through to the next one. And I feel like if they do get the soul point, that's when the poke might become just too much for 100 Thieves to deal with.
Definitely agree there as, oh man, again, it just feels like we're waiting with bated breath.
One mistake.
Calm before the storm right here. Because, yeah, one mistake could mean the end of this game, the end of the series. We already gave you all like the stakes of what's at stake here for playoffs implications. Going into next weekend, elimination matches potentially for Shopify Rebellion, but if they can win, they could even avoid that lower bracket of playoffs.
You know, will depend on what happens tomorrow in the FlyQuest series against Dig as well. All Shopify can control here is whether or not they win this game. Just trying to get as much poke down on 100 Thieves.
That Arcano pulse does damage right now. River's at half health.
I mean, it's such a good spot for Palafox to camp in right there because They have the good control ward in the back of the pit, and anytime he pokes the guy coming in, he can poke the Baron as well to basically just give him an extra bit of damage. It won't officially count as a Xerath damage, but the Baron hitting River almost forced him back to base. So it's just delaying until this next Drake. That's kind of all Shopify is hoping to do here.
Yeah, both teams need to keep vision around the Baron. So that's why we see members always hovering around there, because you don't want to ever leave a moment that the enemy team could sneak it from you. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're catching these waves, getting these item completions, because for Shopify Rebellion especially, it's Dragon Soul point. If they can get this next dragon, that is a win condition. 4 Hex Dragons, plus that soul is huge. 100 Thieves, they're on the back foot, because even if they deny this, there's more to be done. There are only 2 dragons right now.
Yeah. And I also want to explain a little bit why Palafox's CS looks so bad.
Okay.
Part of it is he did lose lane phase by about 20, but the bigger part of it is just the way Shopify is playing the map right now. They're only playing 2 lanes. So they're generally having Lucian and Xerath on the same wave all the time. Lucian is the one taking that CS, and then Fudge is the only one they trust to go to the other wave.
Yeah.
So there are no waves left for Palafox to farm, whereas 100 Thieves is playing more on 3 waves where they have people who can move to waves. Azir's on the wave on bot, the AD carry FBI's on the wave on mid, and I imagine Sniper or someone will move over to catch that other wave, and they're just collecting more farm as a unit.
And it's always just terrifying to be on that sideline of Xerath when there's the Nocturne. But you know what's not terrifying? When you get vision control around Baron and you start it up. They're going to try to get teleport out of Quid. Pretty classic setup right now. Quid now will teleport. This means Shopify Rebellion can just decide to back off, or they can commit to it. River's walking up. Can he get the steal? Sniper 1v1, basically a lot of damage right to the Arcane, doing work as Paranoia goes up, and he's diving over the backline all alone. River almost throws his life away. Has to flash to survive. That is 2 flashes down for 100 Thieves now.
Yeah, so they get flash, teleport for the cost of their tier 2 top turret. So Quid technically gets the gold trade up, also gets this control ward, but a big play there by Shopify just ends up not just advancing the game that much at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed that River actually took that Paranoia. I feel like you could have just backed off, but either way, it's not disaster. Losing your jungler there means that Baron goes down, but 100 Thieves, like you said, at least get that turret, and now Cold is basically dead, even still, but just barely in their favor. 1 minute until that dragon, Jatt. That is what we've been waiting for. The teams have been waiting for it. They've toyed around with the idea of fighting at that top Baron, but now I gotta say, huge advantage to Shopify, because we're not gonna have the flashes on River and Sniper for that dragon fight.
We've seen enough Shopify to know that this is probably cursing them, but it feels pretty good for them right now, because they've been able to secure the last 3 Drakes.
Oh, no.
It's forcing 100 Thieves to do something. So they're just getting them to come into this zone, and they need to find an angle to engage. But Shopify's just been so disciplined with not allowing a good Nocturne Irelia flank. Fudge has always found Sniper in any time Sniper wants to go in, and then the Maokai Milio has just been completely repelling.
Oh, they land the stun onto Quid. Ultra Mega Fire Kick knocks him back, but Quid is still alive.
But that's huge. 20 seconds until Drake. Quid already used TP to stop the Baron, so Shopify's just going to clean this mid wave, move towards the Drake, and then probably start it.
Palafox was down 100 CS. Doesn't matter. One shocking orb might have just earned them that Dragon Soul.
It doesn't matter how much gold you have if you don't know how to use it. And right now, the compositions aren't allowing Quid to get into range to do any damage.
It could come down to River going for a steal. If they can get vision, which they do have now, control ward into the pit.
Quid's back. This is dangerous for Shopify.
Okay, it's going to be a 5v5. Shopify Rebellion were not able to burst it down fast enough. Quid now taking the Hex Gate over. The Paranoia used, and that is Dragon Soul. Contractz secures it. Uses Quid as his escape tool as well. Shopify Rebellion in full retreat mode. 100 Thieves cannot chase them down. Eyla might still look for the Force. Has the Flash, has the Crash on, has the Magnet Storm. This is your moment, Eyla. Does he want to go for it? Stunned up. Another orb from Palafox marks Eyla. He cannot find the engage. Shopify Rebellion, they get the Dragon Soul. They get out of the fight.
This is how you play a poke comp. A poke counter engage comp. 4 Drakes in a row after being down 2 Drakes to 0. We said if they're going to win, it has to be through Drakes, so we're going to be here a while, and it's absolutely how it's played out now is where 100 Thieves needs to start being a little bit more desperate. Because they're going to be getting poked out, but it's still fairly difficult for Shopify to advance the game.
Oh, on a knife's edge right now, everybody. Shopify Rebellion got the Dragon Soul. That is a bit of a win condition in itself. It gives them a huge buff around the next fight, but they still have to execute that fight, and you're going into Quid. 4-item Azir just picked up the Zhonyas. We're in a pressure cooker right now, ready to explode at any moment.
I mean, it could still be one mistake away. Because if Palafox steps out of position with no flash, they kill him. If they can engage on Bvoy, kill him, they can still win the game. But
Eyla.
now, they have a lot of damage.
Yeah, has to flash away, and one more. Oh, the shield, and it's not enough! Fudge and Palafox again find the pick. They're going to turn it into another one. River's going down. Bvoy with the kill. Shopify Rebellion with 2 picks. We'll look to the Baron.
5v3, Sniper, Quid, FBI would be the only ones who could defend this Baron. I think they're just going to try and maximize gold and keep the waves pushed. This is Shopify turning the corner.
This is an earned Baron from Shopify Rebellion. This was none of that, hey, let's dance around it, let's start it up and force them to walk into it. This was a pick, into an objective. They have the Dragon Soul. They have the Red Bull Baron play. Can Shopify Rebellion close this one out?
I mean, this is just a very fed Gnar at this point with Hextech Soul, just doing whatever he pleases. He gets the Mega Gnar, the Xerath flies in. Who needs CS when you're still able to just be involved in absolutely any fight? If we check the damage at the end of this game, I would not be shocked if Palafox has done much more than Quid's Azir, who has 113 more CS. Let's go!
Let's go! Revan popping off right there.
I mean, listen, if you're a theory crafting type of coach, this game is what gets you going, because it is absolutely, you need so much patience.
Yep.
You have so much range advantage. You can't make any mistakes. Like, you have to play so disciplined. And for 38 minutes, they've been doing it. They needed to stop Sniper from getting ahead. They did that. They needed to mark him on every fight. They did that. Now
Quid with the shuffle of a lifetime on the Bvoy right there, but he's about to go down right afterwards. Flank on from River. Gets on to Palafox, has to go into the stasis. Contractz and Fudge are just playing their own game right now. They got an FBI flashed into the wall up. He's stunned up, taking down Fudge with the kill. River just can't kill Palafox through Seoul's heels. River's gonna fall. Shopify Rebellion absorbed the play, turn it right back on the Thieves. Rebellions are built on hope, and the Thieves will fall in this best of 3. Shopify Rebellion have done it. They got on the board, and they will win this series.
Shopify play all 9 games, win the last one, and they're still alive for top 2.